tons of interesting and mysterious characters in One Piece, but in my opinion, two who have intrigued fans for more than 2 decades are Shanks and Dragon. What is their relationship with each other, and what are their roles in the story? This is the topic we will talk about today, but before starting, I want to tell you that I have made an Instagram page where I post 3D art, and I really need your support there by following it. The link to the Instagram page will be in the description. I also want to ask all of you to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. I hope y'all have a great day. Now let's start the video. So let's start talking about Shanks, who has appeared in the very first chapter of the series. But despite that, even after almost 25 years, we still know so little about him, his origin, and his intentions. When Shanks appeared in the story, he easily became one of the fan-favorite characters. He had a mentor role to Luffy and was one of the main reasons why Luffy became a pirate in the first place. After that, he appeared in the story from time to time, commenting on the growth of Luffy, and as time was moving on, we were learning more and more about him. However, despite being the first Yonko who appeared in the series, we know the least about him when it comes to the 4 emperors. The powers and goals of Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom, and to some extent Blackbeard, have already been fleshed out. We know enough about them to assume and analyze how their story will go in the future, but Shanks is covered with mysteries. We don't even know if he's evil or not, what his goals are, and why he became one of the emperors in the first place. According to Oda, when it comes to names, sometimes it takes him days to decide on a name for a character, and when Luffy was presented to Shanks and his crew, he had a shirt with the word Anchor written on it, and when we look at the names of Anchor's parts, we can see that there's a special part, and the main part holds and connects the whole structure, which is known as Shank. Shank has major roles such as providing direction and balancing an anchor. This is exactly a role that Shanks plays in the story. He gave direction to Luffy to become a pirate. We have also seen him provide balance to the pirate world and how he is always there to calm and control things. The first time when we saw Shanks in action was when he met Whitebeard. Shanks noted that the scars over his left eye were currently aching and revealed that Blackbeard inflicted them before describing how Blackbeard deliberately avoided becoming notorious during his time on Whitebeard's crew. Shanks warned Whitebeard that Blackbeard would come for his position now that he had gained strength and started moving. And when Whitebeard asked him what he wanted to do, Shanks asked him to stop Ace because he felt it was not the time for him and Blackbeard to fight. However, Whitebeard claimed that he needed to teach Blackbeard about morality and that Shanks was 100 years too early to tell him what to do. After finishing their sake, Shanks and Whitebeard drew their weapons and clashed, resulting in the skies above them splitting in two. The reason for this meeting was to stop Ace and avoid the Marineford War, which would change the pirate world and shake the stability of it. Next time when we heard about Shanks was in the Marineford arc, as mentioned by Momonga. When Whitebeard began making his move towards Marineford to save Ace, Kaido attempted to take advantage of the situation to attack Whitebeard pirates. To the horror of the Marines, reports came in that Shanks had intercepted Kaido, creating a dispute between 2 of the 4 emperors. While the 2 captains ended their confrontation with a stalemate, the Marines became greatly anxious about the possible problems that could arise from conflict between the 2 pirates. We don't know how this clash ended, but we can assume that there was no fight, and Shanks stopped Kaido by negotiating with him, since we can see that Shanks' crew had no scars when they arrived in Marineford, which, no matter how strong you are, is an impossible task to do against the world's strongest creature. I think the reason why Shanks stopped Kaido was that I doubt the world government could handle Whitebeard, Blackbeard, and Kaido at the same time. They would most likely get destroyed, and the world without the navy would be terrible and much more chaotic than it is right now. His appearance in Marineford also suggests that his main goal is balance and protecting the stability of the world. He stopped Akainu and the war because its continuation would destabilize the whole world. So now we can get into his motives and role in the One Piece story. He is the one who seeks balance and stability. This statement is later backed up by Gorosei, who said that Shanks is not a man to cause trouble. Well, Shanks is not entirely allied with the world government, since Lucky Roux literally said that they stole the Gomu Gomu no Mi from their enemy, and we know that the world government was protecting that fruit. Why he stole the fruit is still a mystery to us, even today, but I plan on doing a video about his story after the disbanding of the Roger Pirates and before becoming a Yonko, so stay tuned for that. So we can see that Shanks' main goal is to maintain the balance of the world and does not want these unnecessary deaths. And while talking to Whitebeard, he implies that he does not like this reckless era. So who could be his mortal enemy? Well, it could be none other than Monkey D. Dragon, another mysterious character of One Piece. I think we know even less about Monkey D. Dragon than Shanks. Despite appearing back in 1999 in One Piece Chapter 100, we have very limited information about him, despite him being the father of the main character and being the leader of arguably the third greatest political power besides pirates and the world government. Despite him being in the story for more than 2 decades, we know absolutely nothing about his powers. However, we do know plenty of things about his motives and goals. Firstly, the earliest image of Dragon which we have was 24 years ago, where he was shown to have witnessed Roger's execution. He had not yet acquired his facial tattoo at this point, which suggests that he started his revolutionary movement after the death of the Pirate King. This is later confirmed by Vivre Card, where it was written that he became a revolutionary and formed the Revolutionary Army between 24 and 19 years ago, with the aim of opposing the world government. As time passed, his ideals slowly spread throughout the world, and one by one, countries began to support him, although sometimes through conflict, causing many countries to fall. Eventually, Dragon would be regarded as the world's worst criminal. His main goal is to take down the world government and change the whole system, which directly opposes what Shanks stands for. Oda has foreshadowed their rivalry and opposition as far as 20 years ago. Let's go back to chapter 96, where Mihawk meets Shanks. The first words which he spoke were that he was in a very bad mood, and when you look at the crew, they also look very tense. But what could make Shanks angry? Almost all the time he seems joyful and a happy person. I think this was the only time we saw Shanks irritated, but what could have caused it? Well, if we move back a little, we can see Nami, who is reading a newspaper and said that the world is in turmoil and there was another rebellion in the villa. And it seems it was the same news that made Shanks irritated. Rebellion was the work of the Revolutionary Army and was later led by Eiichiro Oda himself. Oda was asked where the villa was and what happened to it, and he answered, "Oh, well spotted." 400 years ago, when Nolan visited it, Villa was indeed just a merry town, but these days it's a violent and dangerous country in the midst of a rebellion. But it's not really so much what is happening in Villa as what's happening all around the world at this time. I think you will discover what I mean in the near future. Not as large as Alabasta, it's just a small country in the Grand Line. The reason why Monkey D. Dragon and Sabo were in Logue Town during Luffy's execution could be because of the fact that this village was near Logue Town and they accidentally bumped into Luffy. Monkey D. Dragon wanted a war in the villa, which is exactly what Shanks is against. Also, red-haired pirates' viewpoint on revolutionaries were shown in Ace's novel during a conversation between Shanks and Ben Beckman, where Beckman says that Ace is more naive than he appears. He seems like a fighter rather than a pirate. He should have joined the Revolutionary Army if he wants to destroy this world. At this rate, he will not be able to become a captain of multiple ships. We can see that Ben Beckman regards only revolutionaries as direct enemies of the world government, not pirates. We can also see that Shanks and Dragon do not really share a lot of viewpoints, and we can say that they are direct enemies of one another. I think they will clash in a final war and wonder whose side will Luffy choose. Without a doubt, he respects Shanks much more, but ideologically I think he's closer to his father than to Shanks, and I wonder how the meeting of these three will go down. Anyway, I guess this is all for today. What do you think about these two characters? How will their fight go down? Let me know in the comments, like this video, and subscribe to the channel for more. I hope all of you have a great day. Blackleg Vince Smoke is out. Bye.